Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Campus podcast. My name is Meg, and I am joined by my co host, Clay.
Hello.
This is our first episode, so technically our pilot episode. We sort of thought it might be a good idea to do sort of introductions, like who we are, sort of things that we want to discuss in the podcast. We've got some like icebreaker questions for us to like talk and discuss about. Just thought of like stuff like that to get us started. For I mean, this is the I've never done a podcast before, so I'm winging it right now.
I've listened to a podcast before,
I
several in fact.
I have listened to some very professionally done podcasts, and ours is just going to be is a just a fun hobby amateurist one. But yeah, I just thought it would be cool for, I mean, me and Clay can chat about the same topic for a very long time. We have a lot of stuff in common, and I think it'd be fun to like discuss the things that we have in common, maybe find out things that we don't have in common, and just get to know each other a little bit more and discuss what we both enjoy.
Yeah, just chatting away and recording it at the same time.
Exactly.
And whatever happens, happens.
Yep. Campus is a podcast where Clay and Meg do a podcast and talk about random stuff, which is why we're called Campus.
Yeah, Clay and Meg's podcast about stuff.
About stuff. Because we could talk about literally anything or everything.
Yep. Primarily, though, would probably be like media related. We do talk a lot about media.
Yeah, as I say, we do have our hobbies. We like movies and TV shows, animes, video games,
And books.
Manga, that kind of thing. So we do have like our shared passions, but there may come a time where something comes up that we either don't know a lot about, or something that happens that one of us knows about and the other one doesn't, and we might want to discuss that. So like I say, stuff in general, anything and everything could come up in this podcast.
Yeah. It could be anything. It could be about you.
Dun, dun,
No, not you,
dun.
the other you.
Not that you, the person next to you.
Yep. If you're on the bus right now, look to your left. This podcast is about them.
So without further ado, shall we get on to just like a brief introduction of who we are?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you like to go first?
Oh, dangerous. But yes, sure, I'll go first. My name's Clay. I enjoy video games, books. I like going to the gym. I like ice cream. I don't stream. I used to for a while. I'm a really generic person. One time, I took a personality quiz, and I got generic anime protagonist as who they thought I was. Like,
Nice.
by generic, like, guy with no eyes, hair covering his eyes, dark hair, like, generic guy.
The sort of like the background character that's always with the main character, right?
Yeah, the guy that's there. I aspire to be, if anyone has ever seen the anime High Score Girl, there's just a guy that shows up when the main character's like, oh, I'm going to school in America, and he just holds up a bag and goes, fruit! And that's it. And I aspire to have that man's energy.
Amazing. Okay. My name is Megan, but lots of people call me Meg, and Clay will probably call me Meg throughout this podcast, hence why Campus just refers to me as Meg. I'm an introvert. I like time alone, but I class myself, I'd say I'm a social introvert. I like to be social with my people, but when it comes to very like busy places and dealing with lots of extrovert people, I'm more of I'll just stay in my room, play video games, chill, and enjoy my spare time to myself. Thank you very much. I do stream under a pseudonym, which you will not know about for reasons. Basically, for reasons that I was hoping to just try and keep this separate from my streaming. If but
I will
yeah,
not be part of the streaming conglomerate.
I just wanted this to be like a separate thing that for me to enjoy. But I do stream. I do recordings on YouTube, etc., like that under my pseudonym, which is nice and fun. I play lots of games. I love to read. I've been trying to write something for so long, and it's very difficult. And all I seem to do is think of new ideas instead of continuing with an idea that I have. That's a bad trait of mine.
I think that's like a trait of anyone who writes or creates anything.
Yeah.
The amount of like half-baked like Pathfinder D&D campaigns I've made. It's just like, yep, I've made like 3 sessions in, like, oh, this is really cool. All right, it's gonna sit in this folder forever now.
Yeah. It's like I have so many story ideas that I'm like, this sounded cool. Probably won't use it though, but I don't want to delete it either. So yeah, that's kind of me, basically. I think, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think I've sufficiently described myself in a way that I feel comfortable with strangers knowing.
Yeah, you can tell we totally organized all of this in advance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Is just like, what do I want strangers on the internet to know about me?
Yes, I agree.
My birth date is this. My social security number is this.
Yeah.
And the passcode is my mother's second maiden name.
Backwards. With
Yeah,
an exclamation mark in the middle.
And 1 Roman numeral where you least expect it.
So, Clay has found us some interesting icebreakery questions. So, hopefully, we can be less sort of awkward with how much we want to sort of talk about, and maybe some questions to get us a bit more relaxed and more talky. So, what have you got for us, Clay? What have you found?
All right. How hard hitting do you want this question off the bat?
The floor is yours. Or in this case, the campfire is yours.
Okay, you know what? This one's like a pretty like nice low ball, but gives a good feel. What is something that you would like to experience again for the first time? Like you could erase the first experience you had and re-experience it again.
Ooh, that's actually a tough one.
See?
And sadly, my brain instantly starts to think of which video game I'd want to experience again for the first time. Oh no. No. Okay, let me sit and think. Do you know the answer to yours?
Well, yes, sure.
I was just thinking if you're gonna say if you explain yours, I'm gonna sit and stew on mine for a second to see if I can.
Okay. No, that's fair. I know for a long time I always kept saying like, oh, I'd love to experience like, insert like franchise I really like game, the first game I played in the first time. So like, I like Pokemon a lot. So like, oh, go back and like, I would like to play Pokemon Crystal again. That game's terrible. I love it dearly. It's not great. It's just not good. I love it. I love a bad thing, and I'm okay with that. But I think there was a book I read last year called The Auctioneer. I really liked, by Joan Sampson. I really like it. It's more of a novella. It's like maybe 200 pages, and like like slightly larger font. So like it's not a long read. But I grew up in the country. My entire family are auctioneers, actually, and this was like it's a little like spooky novel about family a family. Sorry, the sheriff's department of a town is trying to hire on some new deputies. It's like the 70s, and they're like, oh, we're gonna hold like an auction. An auctioneer just moved into town, and he's gonna help out. And then like they donate some stuff, and then next week they're like, oh, it was really successful. Let's do it again. And then they have more. And then every week they keep coming back and asking for more. And then they stop asking. and then they start saying, "What have you got?" And it just like nothing terribly scary happens in my opinion, but there's like a great sense of dread, and I'd love to experience that like gnawing dread for the first time again,
Hmm.
because I don't think I've had something that kind of captures that. And that just might be it's something like relating enough to me that I kind of got that feeling, but like I would love to experience that again for the first time. I've been reading so many books trying to get that feeling again.
Interesting.
But yeah, yeah. Joan Sampson's The Auctioneer. That is something I would like to experience again for the first time.
Hmm. I hadn't really like thought about books, to be honest. Not that I
I
think
know.
this would be my actual choice for what I'd want to experience again specifically, but the one book series that I remember being absolutely hooked on was the Skullduggery Pleasant series. I started like reading that when I was 14. It's still going, by the way, which is the crazy part of this whole story, because when I first started reading it, I think there was only about 9 books planned, and then that would be the series over, which the author at the time stuck to. They went on to make a 3-book trilogy series with another character in a different sort of like I think it was a different country and stuff, but sort of like the same idea of like it was to do with a normal a normal person comes across basically a that her world has these like basically magical things just existing alongside it. It was almost like a it's horrible to say this because it's no offense to Harry Potter, but in my opinion better than a Harry Potter. Um, but the idea of like that a magical world exists alongside like the normal human world, and that it's like just like a thin veil, and the character that you experience it through, she crosses that veil, but she like grows up in this world, and she learns to like wield magic and how to fight and stuff. She goes through some like absolutely crazy adventures, and her partner that she's with is a detective who is the title of the book, Skullduggery Pleasant, who's also a skeleton who's been alive for like nearly 200 years. All set in Ireland. It's a great series, and it has grown up with its audience. So the main character has like grown up per book. She's older with like she's aged. She's gone through a lot of trauma. Lots of stuff has happened, and it's like more mature in the way it handles how she deals with her trauma. But it's still kind of like weird to think that like it's been like years and I'm still like reading these books. Just walking into like I'll have the next Skullduggery book, please, and somebody looks at me and I'm like, you're an adult, and I'm like, I started reading these when I was a teenager. If you've got a problem, go to the author about this. It's not my fault they carried on making the book series. But I'd probably say the one thing that I would like to re-experience again would be going to the Lake District for the first time, which is
Okay.
up in it's in Cumbria, which is I live in the UK. About a 4-hour drive for me, but the Lake District is well known for its natural beauty. It's the home and birthplace of the then Beatrix Potter, who wrote the Peter Rabbit books. But it's just an absolutely gorgeous place to just exist in. I mean, I was there a couple of weeks ago, and just thinking about it now, just like I just want to go back, like right now. I can't quite remember how I felt when I first arrived there, but I remember standing outside of the house that we'd booked for the week that we were up there, and I was with a family member, and it wasn't even like a glorious day. I think it was like a misty day. There might have been rain in the air. It wasn't going to be like a glorious blue sky sunshine day. But even then, I just remember standing there thinking, I could live here. It was like, just considering we were in a small little like hamlet town and there were houses around us and there were people about, it was like there was such a stillness and calm to the place, and just seeing the mountains even like hidden behind the mist, and it's just a gorgeous place. Absolutely gorgeous place. And if I could afford to live there, I'd already be living there. So I think it would have to be me re-experiencing going to that place again.
Damn, that was a pretty good one. I was just thinking when you were saying like, oh yeah, like you could pick like a place or a thing you've done to experience again, not just like a piece of media.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. All right, second question.
Uh-huh.
Uh, what crime would you want to commit if you could get away with it?
I'm like laughing to myself, but honestly, the first and I think the only thing that comes into my mind, it's okay, everyone listening to this podcast. I know I'm going to hell. The crime that I would like to be able to commit without being in trouble for committing said crime would probably be murder.
I mean, that is the most straightforward one that people would pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. My only dilemma would be who to kill.
fair enough. Mine's way more straightforward. Let's say it together, everyone. Embezzlement. That's right. I would join a large corporation and immediately steal as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
So much money. More than I would ever know to do with. That's right. I would join Amazon and steal everything from Jeff Bezos because I'm getting away with it. Real straightforward. Like nothing creative here. It's just embezzlement. I was looking up like all the crimes. Like, oh, maybe larceny. Nah, that's just theft. What if I just stole all the money?
What if I just went in and just took all the money?
Yeah, like I don't need to steal stuff if I stole all the money to buy stuff.
Okay.
It's like that old adage, you know?
Just on a side note off that specific idea, based on your answer, another one's come into my mind, that if you could go back in time, aware of what we currently know now, which company would you invest in?
I mean, they're like just straightforwardly. I think you'd probably like, if you're trying to do like the most bang for your buck, you're probably like you invest in Amazon when I think it was like an online bookstore, right?
Mm.
Like the exact moment it's like, oh yeah, they sell books online. That was like their thing, and it was okay, and then they just blew up. Or you just do the Forrest Gump thing, and you're like, I invested in this company about fruit, and now they send me money every month.
Because, I mean, the only reason that's come into my mind is because as you were, like, talking about the idea of, like, just taking all that money, my brain was just, like, it thought of the scene in the first season of Good Omens, where in the book, there's a book by Agnes Nutter, who's a witch that foretold, like, the future.
And her name was Agnes Nutter?
Pretty sure that was... I'm pretty sure that's what they called her. Agnes.
Hey.
I can't remember the exact title of the book now. I'm gonna have to Google it to tell you the exact name.
See, I'm looking up Agnes Nutter because I think that name's hilarious.
It was the Nice and Accurate Prophecies of Agnes Nutter. That was the book that she created back in, like, oh my gosh, during the, like, the times of, like, the Salem witch trials and stuff, before she knew she was going to die, right? And it was passed down, like, her sort of, like, generational line through her family. And it got to, like, the stage of, like, the 90s, and one of the prophecies for, like, a date in, like, the 1990s was invest in Apple. So, like, when the story gets to, like, the present time where it's set, the lady who carries around the book, one of her descendants, their family lives on like a private island with its own like private pool and access to a private beach and has a helicopter to get there. And it's just like sitting there like, God, if I could go back in time with the knowledge I have now and invest in a company that I know is going to do super well, like, come on.
Right? Fun fact: when I was looking up like first off, just like the nice and accurate prophecies of Agnes Nutter, I didn't realize that that is the like subheader to Good Omens, eh?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
actual book Good Omens is Good Omens, the nice and accurate prophecies of Agnes Nutter Witch.
Yeah, because she actually the idea is she predicts the whole events of the book or the story as it's
Damn,
happening.
it came out in 1990. All right, on to the next question.
Yes.
Da-da-da-da.
I'm ready.
What game would you like to erase from existence? And I mean, like, it's gone. No one will remember it. It is gone from all of existence.
And is there a thing of like that it won't come up at all? Or is it
I
just
would
that
say that, like,
like up until the present day, all of it is just erased? Because my fear is that it could resurface if we erase it. Is my fear.
I would, I would say, I would say that like if you erase it, that game itself will never come up again. Like if I said, I Pokemon Yellow, I'm erasing it from existence. Pokemon Red, Blue, Silver, Gold, everything else exists. Yellow is just gone.
Okay, then I am going to just automatically lock in, and I'm going to class this as a franchise because even though they have different name titles, it's all the same thing, and it's all got the same people in it and everything as it progresses with time because that's how it works. The entirety of the football franchise on video
Oh,
games.
like the Madden franchise.
Oh no, like after.
Oh, your FIFA, like the football franchise.
Oh, well, I mean,
Gotcha.
because I don't want to be a monster. I don't want to go into like the golf and the cricket and stuff.
No, that's fair. I for a second I thought you were like you're erasing like American football. I'm like I'm erasing John Madden, the man from existence. Madden football never existed.
No, I'm talking about like FIFA, Football Manager, Pez, that kind of stuff. Just poof, gone. Thanos clicked out of existence because it blows my mind that people are willing to pay like £60 plus for a game that comes out every year. I personally don't think has changed like graphically wise properly, like massive improvements for quite a while. And all they're doing is moving players from one team to another team based on real life.
Yeah.
I don't see that. If you want to play football so bad, go and play football outside with a ball.
I mean
Like
that makes sense.
it just like it blows my mind. Like if someone was turning around and was just like, "Oh well, you like archery," and I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So I'd go to a place where I could do actual archery with my bow and arrow, than play a video game about doing archery with a bow and arrow. It's
I mean
just,
that's fair.
it's just yeah, it just frustrates me that people give so much airtime to this shit. Again, I've probably upset some people. This is fine.
I
I'm
there
going to
are some
hell.
like
I already
A+
know
fans.
this, but this is just my opinion. I just don't see why people want to technically throw money away. If you like football, just support your team. Go to the stadium and watch them play. Go and physically play football with your friends instead of playing football online with a cardboard cutout of the players.
Hey, but people love playing football with Cristiano and Ronaldo.
It just
Speaking of Cristiano Ronaldo, he's coming to the new Fatal Fury game as a fighter. I have feelings.
I'm sorry. Are you? Are we Is this? I don't know. I feel like you're telling the truth. Are you telling the truth? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, no, I'm telling you the truth. Cristiano Ronaldo is coming to Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. A game I was really, really excited about, and I'm still excited about, but I do feel a diminished excitement
I,
because there's Cristiano Ronaldo, and then they also added a DJ, like a real human DJ as a character as well. There are
I'm
two more characters, and I know they're going to be real people, and I'm mad.
I'm currently doing the blinking gif right now. They're not
Yep.
fighters, but they're putting them in a fighting game.
Yep, and they're like being given movesets. They are fighter. They are fighters. You can pick them to play as.
That's
Uh,
like when Call of Duty put Nicki Minaj in their game.
yeah, pretty much. Like it's like that. Uh, Basically, just what happened is the Saudi Arabian government owns SNK now, and the Saudi Arabian government owns the football team that Cristiano Ronaldo is on, and they just kind of said, "Put him in," and he's in.
I, 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 I have no words right now. I have no words.
I know it. Everyone thought it was funny the first time. Then they announced the DJ, who again I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head. He was announced like 2 days ago. Uh, they announced him, and then like the entirety of like the fighting game community I've seen has just started blinking, going, "Oh, this stopped being funny very fast."
Yeah. This is no longer funny. We need an intervention.
Right? All right. So now me. I gotta pick a game I would like to erase. The problem is like I'm a very positive person. I like most of the things I get to experience, no matter how bad they are. I like experiencing them.
I'm gonna say because that's the thing. Like I'm also the same. I try to look for like the positives and stuff. Like even down to like other forms of like media and stuff where lots of people are like, oh, this is really bad. I'm like, well, I'll try it. You know, you've got to try it yourself to decide if you like it or not, rather than
Yeah,
just
no.
agreeing with everybody else. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Like you gotta form your own opinion. I'm trying to think of like something I would like, a game I would like to erase that I just didn't like so much
I can
that
think
I
of some
wanted to
games
go. I
for you
want
if you
it gone.
like. I'll just take you a slot if you can't think
The
of one.
the fact you have a list.
I have a list. Oh dear.
You know what? We're just here to hate on sport games. I would like to get rid of the NHL franchise of video games. Every hockey video game in existence. Get it out of here. Uh, I in college, I had roommates who were just the most insufferable because every day they'd be like, "Dude, you want to play some Chell?" Which is in fact how a lot of Canadians call NHL, the video game. They call it Chell. It-
Windows dial-up tune is currently in my head right now, but okay.
Yep. Yep. I don't think I can explain the impact of hockey in Canada and hockey related media and games. We love it. Well, we is a strong term. My countrymen love it. Uh, I I like hockey. Hockey is fun to watch. Hockey's a cool sport. Hockey's awesome. Same thing to FIFA. Just why go play hockey with some friends.
Mm.
Just don't buy this game every year. I I propose that every sport game gets a DLC update for $10 that just updates you to the next year. Just
See,
updates your
see
teams.
that's the thing. Like, why can't? But then you're thinking like, well, then the video game companies are just like, well, we could do that, but then we'd lose out on more money. And I'm just like,
Yep.
but all you're doing is this player moved to this squad because at the end of the season they were transferred to that squad because they could get more money, or their contract ran out, or they're on loan with them right now, which means they're playing for them for free until halfway through the season and then they're moving back. It just. Oh.
Oh yeah, no. Sport games are probably the thing if I could erase a genre, I feel like it would be sport games, but I feel like sport games are a lot of fun.
Hmm.
I just hate that they are a yearly release. If
Yeah.
if there wasn't the fact they were a yearly release, I would probably have less of. I would have no feelings about them. They'd
Mm.
just be like, yeah, yep. Oh, you want to play some chess? Like, sure. Where's Jason Spezza this time? Is he still on the Ottawa Senators? No, no, he's in New York. Okay, that's cool with me. I don't care.
No, I could quite easily erase sports games because it's not something that I play. So I would quite
Pretty much.
happily not.
We're
I would be
I like
very
that we just
indifferent. I'd be very indifferent if it was just like sports games are no longer being made as video games on consoles. I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool.
I like that we're just like, oh, we never found something we hated. We just found something like, I could live with this being gone. It's like no passion here. Just if it's gone, it's gone. I'm cool with it.
Hmm.
All right. Next one. What is your least favorite movie genre?
Ooh.
Least favorite, not most. Least.
Hmm.
While you think, I can go off mine.
Go for it, because I'm sort of like I'm sitting there and I'm thinking of like I am thinking of one, but then I'm thinking like, but some of them are good, even though most of them are like, ugh.
Right. I I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say I want to get rid of the thriller movie genre
Hmm.
because
Continue.
I think it's a catch-all. I think it's the same way that like the Academy Awards doesn't like to give horror movies awards, but they'll give thriller movies an award despite the fact that they're almost similar depending on. And half the time a thriller movie is also an action movie or a thriller movie is also like a detective movie. Like
When it could be
thriller
classed
is
as a crime movie instead.
yeah, like a crime drama or a police procedural or again like or a horror movie. Like thriller feels like a nothing burger of a genre. It's like when a video game is called an action game and you go, "Oh, so it's like God of War?" Well, not really. It's kind of like this instead. And you go like, "Oh, okay." Or when something's an RPG and you go, "Oh, it's Final Fantasy." Oh no, it's a little different. Oh, it's like Fallout? No, it's a little different than that. You got to be specific, man. What is this? What does this mean?
No,
I
no,
want to eliminate thriller.
I agree because like well, I understand where you're coming from because like when you think of you're obviously saying like it's technically sort of like horror because it's the pacing and the tenseness of horror without the jump scares, gore, the non-human threats because obviously thrillers always have like a human threat rather than a non-human threat for the most part.
Yeah, sometimes, but what was it like? I believe some of the Jaws movies are considered thrillers. The shark isn't human.
No.
Not that I'm aware of. Unless you're counting the mayor. The mayor is the real villain of that movie. Gotta open the beaches. But sir, there's a shark. The beaches. I don't know. It's a real stumper.
Hmm.
I was gonna say rom com originally, but I actually like I'm a sucker for a rom com
See, that's
sometimes.
the thing because I actually initially thought of that because I was just like, there's a lot of like ones where you're like, ugh, like it's
Oh, you know
so
what?
cheesy and corny that it's like bad.
Oh, like any W net like the women's network movies. Like I'm just a girl at a big corporation who has to go to the small town for insert reason, and there I met handsome insert guy who changed my life, and now I want to stay in small town forever because I've met all these wonderful people and this charming locale. Now on the W network.
Okay, can I see if I can slightly cheat with mine when you say franchise? Could
I
could I make it like B-rated movies?
okay.
Do,
I'm going to hear you out.
okay, so because obviously the idea is like when I mean the best sort of way I can I can use the rom-com thing as an example because they spit those out so much. So like when you're thinking of like a rom-com movie, you think of like a really like well-known one, something like The Proposal, for example, with like Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds in, you know, like the big ones, right?
Yep.
But then B-rated movies, I can't name one, but they always so desperately try to reach that. And in my mind, if I had to describe what that looks like, it's them chasing after them while they're driving away in a sports car. They trip, fall flat on their face, and into dog shit.
Damn, don't you hate when that happens?
And it's just, yeah, it's just like when you listen to the dialogue, the way that they're told to act, because I mean, sometimes actors can't, not to be horrible to all actors because everyone has to start somewhere, but some of them feel really wooden, but it's not necessarily them. It can be the direction they're given to do a scene. And it's just like, the cringiness is like someone putting their nails on a chalkboard and dragging them down it. It upsets me so much that they're just like, and they spit out these movies. So many of these movies. And I'm just like, sitting there going, why would people want to watch these movies when they could watch the actual movies that are good? Again, I know people have to start somewhere, which is why, like, it's like, I'm like torn whether to say, like, I would want B-rated movies. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying they're going to be erased. They're just my least favorite because they're trying so hard, but they're failing so hard. Anytime I see, like, when we're scrolling through the TV channels and what you can instantly tell a B-rated movie, right? From the way it sounds, the way it looks, the way they're acting, immediately like, B-rated movie, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off.
Free me.
To the point though where TV series, like a TV series, is actually better made, better directed, better acted than a B-rated movie.
I think that's fair. I think it sounds like you're like less B-rated movies, and you're just talking like the made-for-TV movie, like the things that they like churn out at breakneck paces. Like, see the Women's Network, how like every time I see that channel, there's somehow a new movie with a different name that follows the exact same premise and is just like the most wooden thing possible.
Yeah, it's like the one channel that's constantly just playing those movies like over and over and over again. Yeah, they can go.
Yeah, but somehow they have an infinite amount of them.
Mm.
Like, you check it out and it's like there's a different movie every time, and you're like, I swear the scene in this movie, actors are different, settings different, but like the plot points are all the same. You're like, oh, I swear I've seen this Christmas movie. I know I've seen the one about the lady who goes to Christmas Town and meets a handsome elf.
Oh god.
Or sorry, handsome man playing an elf or something. I've seen it.
And don't get me started on the 24/7 Christmas channel that just plays really crappy B-rated Christmas movies.
Heck yeah. That's the stuff. All right. So we've done da 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 da. All right, what is your most useless skill?
There's a list.
Why do you have so many lists?
I would say my most, technically, it's technically my memory, but specific parts of my memory where I seem to remember, like, knowledge, like, to do with specific lines from, like, a Disney movie, for example, or, like, a sketch comedy show, and I can recite it word for word. I'd probably say that's my most useless skill, unless I go into a pub quiz that involves me having to discuss Disney movies involving the actual story, characters in the story, music that is involved. As long as they don't ask me to say who drew this scene or like what year was this movie made, but if they turn around and said, what are the name of the four ladies at the start of Hercules, I'd be able to turn around and just do the whole, like, you know, their whole sketch where they're just like, we are the muses, goddesses of the arts and proclaimers of heroes, and I could do that whole scene.
Fair enough. For me, it's just the ability to like memorize, despite seeing like only a handful of times, all and like any intro to a cartoon I have ever seen. I I have like a bunch where someone's like, "Oh, I've seen this." Like, "Wow, you watched a lot of TV." No, I just know this. I just remember it. That or the fact I can sing the I know the Nations of the World song by the Animaniacs. Like it's not useful. Someone would be like, "Oh, that's geography." It's like, "No, no, no, no. I know the words to the song. I can't point to a map and go, "This is where like Panama is." I do know where Panama is, mostly because it's on the same continent as me. But like you, if you told me to like, "Where's Chad?" And I go, "I know the general area, but I like there's 2 million individual countries in Africa. I'm not going to be able to point to Chad. I'm sorry, but I could sing it." And that is my useless skill.
I mean, that's a fun, useless skill. It's a lot like mine, to be honest, where it's just like it's like sounds fun in context, but in the real world scenario,
But that's what I mean.
knowing the lines to like a sketch comedy routine that you've seen a couple of times or went to see live, it's not very helpful in real life. Apart from like if you just remember when somebody was just talking about like, yeah, a long time ago when we used to have like cars that had like a manual like winding down windows, and then I just go off and start doing the Jason Bourne sketch about him talking about winding down the window, and the window went down like this, and I start doing the whole like scene, like physically acting the scene out as well. Yeah.
Fair enough. You said the winding window, and my mind immediately went to there was a comedy show called The Red Green Show in Canada, where a guy, and this was basically his tagline, is like, "The women don't have to find you handsome if they find you handy," and his whole thing was just basically like handyman comedy. So it'd be like, "See these cars these days with them automatic windows? Well, we got the next best thing right here. So what I want you to do," and he'll like walk you through taking the window crank off and attaching like an electric screwdriver
Oh god.
and being like, so unfortunately it can only go one way unless disconnects it, turns it like the other way, clips it back on, and now it can go down. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever, but it's so good.
Oh god.
It's comedy gold, I tell you. Comedy gold. Well, I've got one more question, and it's an easy one.
Ooh, okay.
I say that in quotations.
Ooh, okay.
Your favorite video game genre? It's easy in that like you could easily just give like the genre and be like, "Yep," and that's it. But since we just discussed how genres don't mean anything sometimes, you're free to be as specific as you want.
Oh god. Yeah, sorry, FYI for the podcast viewers, I'm going to be making weird noises throughout the entire podcast series, just FYI.
Yeah, all of our sound effects are actually done by Meg.
Oh, yeah, all done live on recording. No editing whatsoever. Gosh. The thing for me is that I feel like I'm gonna have to narrow it down to like a type of game, like a game, like a style of game, rather than a game series. So,
Okay.
only because of the fact that I'm just gonna have to be quick and brutal with this. As much as I love every single game that I've played to a there are some that I've obviously enjoyed more than others, but I'm gonna probably have to say my favorite genre of games is probably RPG.
Okay. That is mine as well. What kind of RPG? Like when you say like what's an RPG series that you go, that is like my favorite RPG series?
I mean, come on, you should know which one automatically comes to mind.
Well, I know, but they don't. We're talking to motioning to the void. We're talking to them.
The people sitting at the campfire with us.
We're talking about the guy next to the guy on the bus.
Yeah, he needs to know.
He needs to know.
I mean, the one that comes into my mind like immediately, just because it would be one of those games that I'd love to be able to re-experience again for the first time. And I'm actually gonna say the actual like game company rather than just the game series, because I'm also enjoying the ones that aren't connected to the game series. Atlas Games.
I saw that coming. Yep.
As much as to be honest, the two game companies that are my favorite right now are Atlas and Ninja Theory.
Oh yeah. No, that makes sense.
So, but I love the Persona series. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm loving Metaphor ReFantasia right now. And yeah, just like turn-based RPGs. I didn't used to love them when I was younger, because I think it was just because of the fact I didn't take the time to understand and appreciate them like I do now. So I'm understanding them a lot more, and they're just so fun. They're just so fun.
They are.
I also love the fact as well where it's just like, I need another hot drink, and I can just get up from my computer, go downstairs, make a drink, come back upstairs, and the game is still where I left it, and I can sit back down.
Right? That is the biggest bonus of like turn-based RPGs. You can take a minute. You can take as many minutes. I also like Atlas, but I'm a huge SMT like Shin Megami Tensei fan, so like Persona's edgier older brother.
The one that doesn't go to high school. And has to date people and go and get a part-time job and go and do midterms and
That is true. I don't think I did any of that in SMT5, but I was in high school, which I thought was very funny.
Oh.
Yeah, the protagonist of SMT5, you're a high school student. So like I like that we just bridged the gap a little bit there. We're not so different, you and I. I too was once a high school student.
I just refused to do my exams and didn't want to date people and just went and did all the dungeons and fought all the monsters and yeah, that's what all I did. You went and did a part-time job, you fool.
You fool. The plots diverge. It's like, oh yeah, I had to go do my test. Oh, by third period, the world was ending.
Yeah.
That's how SMT works.
It's just like, sorry, you had a graph for what days you were doing stuff, also depending on the weather? Jesus, man, you have too much time on your hands.
No time on hands. I got no time. The world is ending.
Yeah.
Damn it. Also a huge fan of a lot of like action RPGs. So like I love most of like I'm not most like pretty much every game from the FromSoft Souls series.
Mm.
And like all of their like peripheral games, so like Sekiro, Elden Ring, they're all Souls games.
They are. I agree they are cool, but I am not skilled enough to play them.
Well, that's too bad. We're going to play.
I was gonna say,
Ring.
even though I've already agreed that we're going to play Elden Ring, but I will be the mage standing at the back of the room throwing the lasers.
You can be the mage, and I will play a healer. I will just keep buffing you, and I'll be like, you're gonna get involved one way or another.
Oh my god, it's just gonna be me screaming like a banshee and rolling everywhere.
Yes, I am so excited for that. But yeah, no, like RPGs are also my favorite. The first game I think I played, like actual game that I had any understanding of what I was doing was like Pokemon Crystal. So like first game I played, RPG. Not as much of like, oh, building your character and stats, but like it's a level up system, it's turn based. All the bits are there, man.
You want to know, like, one of the really ironic things for me? One of the first games I remember playing on, like, the PlayStation 1, because my dad owned a PlayStation 1 and he used to let me play games. He used to have a game called London Racer. I remember...
London Racer.
Yeah, I remember playing that quite a bit. I actually was playing like that kind of game before he bought Crash Bandicoot. So technically, one of the first games I started with was actually racing games.
Fair enough. I think the close second for me is probably fighting games, which is a genre like I only recently got into, but man, is that a fun. It's a fun genre. Hitting buttons and doing cool things is in fact fun.
I would say my second genre would be whatever you would class the Ninja Theory games as, probably action adventures.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Because, like, Hellblade and Hellblade 2, poof, good games. Such good games.
Well, that is it for my list of curated questions to get to know us.
Yeah. And we're almost out of time by our cozy little campfire with everybody.
Good, my marshmallow's on fire.
Take it out of the fire, then.
No, I'm waiting for it to be done.
You want it to be burnt.
I would like to eat charcoal, please.
Charcoal marshmallow, please.
Yes.
Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us for our first episode of the podcast by our little campfire. Hopefully you guys will stick around for some more. We're hopefully going to be doing some more episodes in the future. We haven't sort of organized like a sort of plan as to how many we're going to sort of like do in a time frame yet. But we'll probably try and get that sort of organized for the next episode, to give you an idea as to like how regular we'll be dropping episodes. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll catch you again with us next to the campfire. Thanks so much for joining us, and
Thanks for stopping by.
we'll see you guys again soon. Take care, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.